You've just landed on the Coolest People in the World podcast, a show that features stories of cool people doing really cool things. From business, art, and travel to lifestyle, mental health and family, and everything in between. Join host Crystal J. Bailey as she introduces you to some of the coolest people in the world. Here's Crystal.
Welcome back to the Coolest People in the World podcast. I'm your host, Crystal J. Bailey, and you are tuned in with this week's coolest person in my world, Miss Rochelle Magno. Welcome to the show, Rochelle.
Thank you so much for having me, Crystal.
So Rochelle and I met through a mutual friend of a mutual friend somewhere. You know how the journey goes. You meet people along the way, and Rochelle is pretty incredible in my eyes. So I am excited to dive into your story and get to know you. But allow me to tell you a little bit about who Rochelle is. She is the founder of a nonprofit organization called Glamming the Warrior, an organization that celebrates the strength and resilience of cancer patients in such a unique way. Rochelle and I had the pleasure of speaking the other day, and as I listened to her tell me her story and tell me about all the things and the love that she pours into this organization and what she's doing for cancer patients, I was just like, pause. I need you on the podcast. I need you right now. And I need you to tell me all this again. So she's going to unpack it all for us. But this organization, Glamming the Warrior, is doing something pretty special. And cancer patients who are going through chemo or radiation, they're having an opportunity to experience what Rochelle explains as complete luxury.
Absolutely.
So as a beauty expert and a leader in her industry, Rochelle has paved the way for many industry experts. She's been on Dr. Oz. She started many successful businesses, which we're going to unpack and get to know. But I want to kind of lead off the show and jump right into allowing you to tell us a little bit about who you are, Rochelle, and a little bit about Glamming the Warrior, because that's really what caught the most of my attention. And then you just kind of got better and better from there. So can we start with that?
Yeah, sure. It's funny that you just mentioned that I just came from a vocational school right now in Newark to do a speaking engagement, how I started. So I'm just repeating myself today.
Oh, there you go. Well, you're warmed up then.
Yes, I'm already warmed up. So, I guess I could begin by I started in the beauty industry in 2004. And from 2004, I got licensed as a cosmetologist. I'm a professional in my field. I do high-end eyelash extensions. I perfected that skill to a point that I actually attracted a lot of celebrity clients. And then from then on, I started my own business in 2011. And then in 2016, I became a licensed cosmetic tattoo artist and became a paramedical as well. So I get to work with scars. I get to work with areolas, especially for those that have double mastectomies or those that have surgical scars, anything of that sort. So my background is about beautifying, right? Making you feel good. At the end of the day, no matter what type of work I do, it's about making someone feel good when they leave me. So I am a servant in that way. I love what I do. I love making people smile and giving them hope. That's the premise of my background in beauty. And then Glamming the Warrior came because I had a lot of friends. In 2021, because of the reputation that I built, we were always busy, especially during like the holidays and, special occasions. So the coat drive and, doing toy drives and coat drives, none of those things was ever possible for me because of the fact that during those times, it's usually busy for me to kind of service my regular clientele. So then, but I wanted to give back. All right. So I came across, and again, this is a calling that I think was designed to get me going. And back in 2013, I had a client, and I mentioned before, like, when you are a professional in that field, whether you're a hairdresser or a lash tech, your clients are always talking to you about their day. They kind of dump all those things that they're going through. There's hardships and problems, and they just kind of vent to you. You become that unlicensed psychiatrist, I guess. And right? Isn't that how that works? So you kind of like, and there's no judgment here. They're just letting it all out. And sometimes it's better to do that and then to hold it in. So it's a safe space that I know I created, that enough for my clients to feel good about, saying those things to me. Back in
Yeah.
2013, right? Yeah, it's just important. I know you have that, even manicurists, right? You just talking to them. And some people don't have a support system. Some people can't even afford a therapist. Some people might not even have a supportive friend. It's whatever that may
Yeah.
be. And I'm glad that I was one of those individual. They were safe to talk about these things. So just like my regular day, I had one particular client. She was a teacher, and she talked about her day to day, but she never talked about herself. The only thing she talked about was her 6-year-old daughter at the time, who got diagnosed with cancer. And as a mom, she talks about the struggles, what challenges she faces with the bullying, with the kids bullying her because she doesn't have hair,
Mm.
because of chemo. The heartaches that the mom can't do much of, right? And then the challenge of taking her away from the school, does that help or does that make it worse? I mean, what is it, as a mom, right? So she continues to talk
Right.
about those things. And then one day she did tell me about she's like, her next challenge was, how does she talk to her 6-year-old daughter of they need to amputate her leg? um, and
Wow.
this, the hospital are talking to her like how to coach her and how to have these conversations. She had to buy a book to have those conversations. And my response was, so how did she take it, or what did she say? And she said, and of course the innocent mind of a child, you're automatically like, so, as a parent or even someone, and as an adult, like, how do you hurt this child without trying to hurt this child in any way? And she
Right.
said, the little girl was saying, whatever I did, mom, I'm sorry, I don't want them to take my leg.
Oh.
So she automatically felt that it was her fault. You kind of have to, as a
Right.
mom, you're like, what do you say? I'm sorry, this part really gets me a little emotional.
No, please share your emotion. I love that. Please.
But it makes her feel helpless, right? And me listening to the story, it's like, what do I do? What can I do, right? You automatically try to save the
Mhm.
day. But there's only so many things I could do at the time, also. So, but
Mhm.
I had the privilege of meeting her before they amputated her leg. She still had like the tube in her nose. She came to visit me. She had the best spirit. She had like the biggest smile and such a welcoming, like no worries in the world is the engagement and interaction that we had. So I could see like the mom, like, how do I break the news to this spirit, right?
Right.
um so I got to experience that. So the following year, I haven't seen her after that. And the following year, I got a call from a random client saying she heard I do eyelash extensions. She was recently diagnosed with breast cancer. She was a veterinarian. And with the little information I knew about cancer, I never had experience with cancer. I didn't know anyone with cancer. I just knew I
Mhm.
couldn't service her the way she probably thought I could. I told her I've been taught to work with people with hair, not people without. But with the sign of defeat, I just told her, listen, I'm not even going to charge you. If you let me work with you, let me find out other temporary solutions, I will do that for you. I just want you
That's
to just
beautiful.
focus on your journey. But that's what I do, right? I know my talent. My talent is to make my clients feel good by the time they leave me. So she's not any different,
Absolutely.
but I didn't have a real solution for her because I wasn't taught, you know? So
Mm.
she allowed me to, she's like, I told her, please don't have high expectations, but what I can do is let me research the eyebrows. Let me research the lashes. Let me at least focus on that because that's my area of expertise. And I did a lot of research. There was a lot of trials and errors. And by the time you know it, her hair started going back and everything, just her spirit started getting back. She started coming back to normal with her appearance.
Wow.
And when by the time she stopped seeing me, she handed me a pile of books from different cancer hospitals. And she said to me, I think you belong in a hospital. And I was flattered, but I was like, no, not really. Because I wasn't
Right.
confident, you know. I don't want to
Mhm.
disappoint anyone. So my conversation, like, that's nice, but I don't really have a skill set in that space. I just did it because I wanted to do it for you.
You have the
You
heart for that space, though. That's the difference.
That you're right, and that's what she saw. And my and this my mindset has changed dramatically. I've been in situations where people like, Rochelle, you need to be here. I said, but I'm not that good. Well, it doesn't matter, you started something. It's a start. And I was like, yeah, but I was more afraid of letting more people down, right? They might have these high expectations, and like it doesn't deliver the way they thought. Even in my business,
Yeah.
regular folks, like I might give them the best lashes, but it might just not look the way they envisioned in their head. And that's what I was more afraid of. I was more afraid of trying to, um, I didn't want to bring these expectations up. And they're already going through some hardship on their own of their, how they see themselves. I didn't want to add to that. So that was what's kind of held me back a little bit of pursuing, of going forward with that. So I left that alone for a good, for a while. I just didn't think about it. I thought it was a
Mhm.
nice gesture that she said I should
The
be in
seed
the
was
hospital.
planted.
Yeah, that's definitely a seed. Definitely a seed. Um, the next the next following year, a good friend of mine got diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
So I don't deal with that on just a visit. I dealt with that as much as I can because I wanted to be around my friend. I wanted to know where I could be of help. I wanted to know what can I do. So I just didn't hear like the one piece story here and the little piece of I went through the whole thing with her. From which complications she went through when she cut her hair, when she got her double mastectomy. I went through the whole journey with her, not just to be a supportive friend, but it also allowed me to kind of introduce these other past services I provided from my other clients, and I was able to offer it to her. And I thought that was
Right.
all blessings in disguise. I thought it was
But you were
like,
prepared for the moment to be the best possible
yeah,
friend. I love that.
yeah, it wasn't planned, but I was like, I'm going to use all the skills that I developed from my past experience, know what to say, what not to say. Let me explore more options. And that's kind of like how I got so deep in cancer, is because of that. Understanding the emotional struggles some of my friend had to go through, these complications, and the identity, and being enough, the doubt, all
Yeah.
those things. So not only was I there just for the visual, I was there to be the conversation, so that I could talk to her and say, okay, I got you. What do you need? What do we need to do? Okay, let me send you a comedy skit from TikTok or Instagram. I'm going to send you this to you every
Right.
morning until you find a reason to not think about what that thing you're thinking about?
Oh, yeah, I love your heart, Rochelle. That's beautiful. And that's one of the things I noticed about when you were explaining things to me. It's the details of what you do is so fine tuned, and you really don't. And I know we still have to talk about it, but you really don't miss a trick in making people feel special. And I can tell in just your conversations and the way you talk about your friend and everything that you do, you really lean into the nitty gritty of what it looks like to make someone feel loved. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I tell everyone all the time, there's nothing, being kind is for free. Shouldn't take a lot,
Right.
you know? But if it's your friend, that should even come more easier.
You took that and you created this huge organization where you are serving people that you've never met before with the same type of love. So, you want to take us down that journey, how we got there?
Absolutely, absolutely. With my friend being diagnosed, and I understood how that worked, I decided with a bunch of my talented friends. I had a lot of friends in the industry that specialize in massage, wardrobe, um, with facials, makeup, name it, like a whole wide of friends that just very good at what they do professionally. And because of that hard time trying to, you know, schedule a time to give back, we thought, let's create a time for our own time to give back, because we were always busy during the holidays. So we decided, starting with 7 small businesses, we decided to do a campaign for cancer. The first year was 2021, where people had to video nominate an individual that they felt needed a whole wellness makeover. Um, and among my team and the service provider, they chose one they felt that needed the most boost. So the way we call our VIP honorees are the ones that they felt needed the most help during that journey at that moment, and who could participate
Right.
during the time that we can service them. The rest of those that were nominated, we invited them to come back as a way of recognizing who they are, giving them their flowers at that time, and just to let me know we see your fight and we want to acknowledge that we're here to support. Um, there's people here and care about you, and even people that you don't know. And of course, there's resources that I provide so that they know where they could go if they needed additional help. So
Right.
that's basically the premise of it. I didn't look at it in any way. It was just a group of friends collaborating in 2021 to do a give back. That was it. It
Yeah.
was one day. It was one day of makeover wellness day. So it's a wellness makeover.
Isn't
So
it
that was
funny how the silliest things start with the smallest ideas? I love that. Go ahead.
yeah. It's just sometimes it's just why not? Like I know we got to work with everybody. Not you got to work with what you have, not what you don't have. So it's one of those.
Absolutely. Truth. So go ahead.
And then so 2022 came. That's when I decided to increase our honorees. And last year we did the on 2022 we nominated 3 VIP honorees, and there were additional people that couldn't because of treatment reasons. So oftentimes when people can't receive the VIP experience, is because they are currently in treatment. Either they're
Mm.
ill or they can't come out the house, or there's a number of reasons. Even financial reasons. It could be they might be from another place and they don't have a car. All those things played a role. Um, but in 2022 was the first time I did a gala for them. Same concept. I invited them to do a whole wellness makeover. It was held in one day. It was 3 this year, that year, and the rest of the honorees
Mhm.
were invited to come back to the gala. I held it at a high end restaurant here in Jersey City, downtown Jersey City. They got to dress up. It was all black tie event, and it was sold out, which made me
That's
so
awesome.
happy because you didn't know. Like I just knew I had a lot of friends, and I knew, you know, this was my opportunity to show them their photo reveal of what work we did for them. So that particular year, the wellness makeover was one day, and I saw how tired they were. The excitement was gone. So this
Mm.
last year, 2023, I changed that to become a 2-day process. So I put them up in a hotel. They get to, it's like a staycation where they don't have to worry about nothing that day. Last year, because I saw the impact that, well, the impact was they were very tired when we did the photo shoot wellness makeover that one day. The excitement was gone. And I didn't want that because their energy level wasn't what we had. And when we could, I'm fine, but they get tired very easily, which I didn't realize that, right? I didn't keep that into consideration at that point until I saw it. And I was like, no, this can't happen. I want them to enjoy this. I want them to experience every moment of this. So I decided to split my days. So I split the days to one day, wellness day, which is all spa day. The facials, the massage, the manicure, pedicure, the B12 shots, all these things are done in one day. And then the following day is glam day. Glam day is all
Mm.
about glam. It's about fixing your wig, styling your wig, giving you a shape up, doing your makeup, putting a whole complete wardrobe for you while we take a picture of your photo, while we do the photo shoot for you. And we also have a videographer that captures everything that we're doing throughout this whole campaign. And
I
with
love that.
that, I got to see what those 2 days meant. it got them to bond with the other service provider. Sorry. They got to bond with the other honorees that they probably wouldn't have done if I only did it one day, because everybody just
Mm.
got dressed, put their clothes on, and got on the set. This year they got time to got to know each other. Like, what kinds of do you have? What did you do? So I realized by doing that was
Mm.
another type of healing that I noticed that was
Yeah.
helpful for. So they started actually created their own group, their own um, group on text that I'm not even a part of. They created
I
their own
love
bond
that.
outside of me. I love that. It was just like, wow, they really needed each other. They really wanted the
Yeah.
support system. Whether they have it at home, but now they got to talk to each other about it in a different way where they
Right.
could understand. And I saw
And
that and I
you
was
led
like,
them to each other. I'm sorry. That's so I pay attention to that stuff. Like when we show up in our passions, I'm not sorry. I got excited. But when we show up in our passions and our truth and following what we're supposed to be doing, and your friends nudged you and said you should be in the hospital, and then you had your experience with your friend, and you followed your heart and what it was leading to do, even though it was not like off the beaten path of where you were going, and then you led a group of people together that can heal together with each other. I think that's really beautiful and worth celebrating.
thank you. Thank you. You know what I've also found when I started this? A lot of people really want to help. They just don't know where to help. A lot of them.
True.
A lot of them. Even from people that wanted to donate. It could be as simple as that. I've come across so many people that have said, there's so many nonprofits. I don't even know who I want to donate to. But once they get like a hold or an idea, or when they just come to one of the events, or even get to speak to one of our honorees, or even service providers, they know exactly where that money came from. Like, they know where they're putting the
Right.
money, you know? And that became really easy for me. I said, it's really not hard where your money went. I was like, none of us is paid. Not every single one of us is for free.
Mm.
I said, everyone's doing this, from their heart. No one's
Right.
forced to do this. Everyone's giving them, as if everyone that's participating, especially the service provider, are doing this as if they are getting paid. They're giving you their all.
I love So
You
it all
know.
culminates in this black tie event. And I know I love some of the stories you were sharing with me the other day about the meaningful moments that have happened at the black tie event. So can you kind of tell us, did I miss, were you still talking about what was going on the whole weekend? Did I miss anything?
No, I mean, after that, we'll do the whole wellness makeover. They go back home, and then that's usually the month of January when we do all of this. In
Oh,
February
right.
is when we start the celebration. So on February 4th is World Cancer Day. It's International World Cancer Day. That's known all over the world. And on top of City Hall of Jersey City, we get to raise our flag representing World Cancer Day with Glamming the Warrior. So our honorees, our supporters get to see our flag on top of City Hall. Then follow that, that's usually held on a Thursday. And on Friday, um, is when we do the whole black tie experience. So even though we
Okay.
have the 6 VIPs that we cater to during that time, we invite all the others that couldn't participate as a VIP to join us as celebration for them as well, to acknowledge them, to give them their flowers. That's when they don't even know that they're getting flowers. A lot of them don't even know it's their party. So
Right.
we give them their flowers, we give them an acknowledgement. Their names are in our booklet, so they get to see that too. Um, we have a moment where we showcase a video. So all the things that we did throughout this campaign of doing the wellness makeover is highlighted in our video presentation. It shows you what we did behind the scenes with them. And I always have a topic to talk about because I think there's so many things to talk about. So I concentrate what resonates with me with that group that I saw. So last year it was about self-image, and I understand how important self-image was. So I actually interviewed professionals in those fields to know what if they could give us a highlight of what that seems. So I always do threes. I love numbers, so threes are usually my thing. The first one was a cosmetic surgeon. What she does is doing surgery. whether it is breast augmentations, facelift. She knows what what self-image is about to individuals. So I got to see in her eyes and her point of view of why she does what her clients need. But it's a funny story
Mm,
because hers is a little deeper than that. She wasn't just a plastic surgeon, actually. Dr. Kim. She was she actually shared with me why she became a plastic surgeon. She said
mm,
that when she was younger, she got into a really bad car accident that it completely mangled her face. Um,
wow.
so being a teenager, you're already going through your insecurities and all these other troubles that you go through as an adolescent. And the only
Right.
reason why she became a plastic surgeon because she met a plastic surgeon to help fix her face.
Wow.
And that was the encouragement she needed to become a plastic surgeon. She said she knew exactly how it felt not to be confident. She knew how it felt
Right.
when she couldn't control, her challenges, and it just built more self-doubt. She said, I lived that. I know exactly how that felt, and what my plastic surgeon was introduced to me allowed me to do the same thing for the next person that needed it as well. So this is why I became a plastic surgeon. I thought that
Wow.
story by
Yeah.
itself was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I love that. And thank you for sharing that. That is a ripple effect of exactly the point. Showing up in what you're supposed to be doing. So somebody impacted her life, she impacted your life, you impacted somebody else's life, and now you're impacting my life. So the power of living in your truth.
Yeah, I think we need to see, right? Some people need to see what's happening and how could it be. There's no such thing as impossible. Like I have no intentions of. I don't care about the the popularity that goes behind this. That's not really, if it helps me reach other people, that's what I'm using it for. Not for
Yeah.
notoriety or of any kind, or the accolades. That's really not meaningful to me, at least. But I know
Mhm.
it's important that if my reputation or Glamming the Warrior's reputation could be reached for other people, and it could touch other people's lives, then I'm doing it for that reason. That's the only reason I'm doing it for.
You
You
do
know?
have a few distinctions though, if I'm not mistaken. Women of Distinction Award.
Oh, yeah, that was
A,
one. That was one of the
a
awards.
woman's dream. So you are quite celebrated. I'll just read these real quick. A Women's Dream Award for Women's History Month from American Dream Mall, and the recent Dare to Make a Difference Award from Sarah's Daughter in 2023. What is that, Dare to Make a Difference Award?
They highlight individuals in the community that felt like brings a nice impact. Dare to be different is basically what they're going for. And when they heard about what I do, they're actually a nonprofit themselves. They deal with domestic violence.
Okay. So you are well celebrated. I understand and I appreciate and respect your humility, and it's not for that, but I think it's worthy of celebrating all that you are and all that you bring to the table. So, congratulations on those things as well.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that those platforms allow me to talk about what we do more, and the reach gets further, and then we get the attraction of the people that do want to help us more. So that's I think those are important. My publicists always say that. So
Absolutely. So, good. So, you were talking a little bit about service providers and self image.
yeah, so last year we covered about self-image, the topics about self-image, and the second feature that I had on my video was Dr. Patel. Now, I never even met Dr. Patel. The only reason why he became a feature was because I was invited to the new cancer hospital, or the only cancer hospital here in Jersey City that opened up during the summer. And one of the people that knows who have attended the gala have mentioned you should really go to this ribbon cup opening for the cancer hospital in Jersey City. I think you should know some people there. I said, great. Go there. I didn't know anyone, but the person that invited me was there. She's like, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Patel. I said, oh, great. I would love that. This is his hospital. He's the VP, he's the hematologist, and also the oncologist for that space. So when we met, I reached out for my hand and I said, hi, my name is Rochelle, he finished my sentence and said, "You're from Glamming the Warrior." I
Oh,
said,
wow.
and I was like, "I'm sorry." I'm sorry. So it kind of threw me off guard because I went there for his ribbon cutting. I wasn't thinking anything less than that. He's like, "I know
Yeah.
everything about you." He said, "The reason why I know you is because you honored one of my clients or one of my patients.
Wow.
And the effect you gave her, I felt like I needed to meet you myself."
That's
That's so,
beautiful.
so back to your ripple effect. Like, I don't have to talk about myself. The other people who are affected have it does. So I don't need to say that. But it was just breathtaking to know that a VP for a cancer hospital that just opened up in Jersey knows my name.
Right, right. And that's pretty powerful. That means you're doing some significant work. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So I was definitely pleased about that. And then he even said, "I need your contact information. I need your direct line." I said, "Oh, you don't want to talk to anyone else?" He's like, "Nope, you directly." I said, "That's so funny." But I was happy to do that. And then my third video feature was a salon catering nurse, and she's been hearing me do these types before I even became Glamming the Warrior. She's always heard me talk about, "Oh, I'm going to do this for a cancer patient. I'm going to do this." So she was always around. And for her to say and to witness, like, "Rochelle, I remember you doing and talking about this." Now to see your work really
Yeah.
shows your passion. I got to witness that. I got to see that and hear that in the beginning. And I'm just so
Yes.
happy. It's just amazing, right? Because she was just like, she saw it, and she was like, "I'm a salon catering shirt, and I know there's services that needs you, that needs the services you provide." And I think this is amazing that you're doing this now. So that's how she became a feature, is because one, she worked for a salon catering. She is a salon catering shirt nurse, and she speaks to these clients on a regular basis and sees what they need. Um, and that just kind of solidifies the fact that, like, I'm not just doing the work, everyone else is helping in, chipping in to make this happen for the
Yeah.
next. And that's what that's one thing I'll show off about. Like,
Your
all the small
team.
businesses are doing it for the same right reasons that I'm doing it for.
Right. So that's actually one of my questions. I was going to ask you about some of the service providers that the patients get to, I don't call them patients. What do you
Warriors, we
call
call
them?
them warriors.
Warriors. The warriors get to experience during that weekend. So can you tell us a little bit about some of your service providers?
Yeah, so a lot of my service providers are celebrity stylists in their celebrity professionals in their space. One of them is a massage therapist. His name is Shalik Stewart. His company name is called Body Work and Training, and he specializes in so many different variations of massage that I've never even heard of or seen on a menu. But he's so uh talented and crafted, and his hands are just so healing. I was like,
I've
you
had a
definitely.
Major League massage, and they are life changing.
That's right. So
That's how
you
we
already
met
know what
at
that
a
is.
wellness event. That's how we met each other through Shelley, and I met him at a wellness event. So I've experienced that, and that is life changing. So I love that you brought him into that.
He loves doing it. He's just so good. His hands are healing hands. And I was like,
They
what?
really are.
He heals the regular folks. Like, he definitely needs our warriors to be touched by his hands. It's so important. Um,
Absolutely.
so I brought him in. And
Of
Shalik,
course.
believe it or
Go
not,
ahead.
the way I actually know Shalik. We actually have a history together. I actually went to high school with him, but I've known him
Okay.
for that many years. He knows my family, so that's the reason why I'm like. But I've seen him grow as a professional, and I was like, well, let me see what you got. And that's kind of like how it started. I was like, oh man, you really know what you're doing. Okay, I can't even look at you any other
Yeah.
way now.
I
And I
know
was
his
like, you
hands
know
are
what you're
different.
talking about. I thought you were like, I wasn't trying to just hook you up because you were my friend. Oh, you really know your stuff.
Too funny.
so,
And so they're getting a gift with that. And then what else are the Warriors experiencing?
so they get to do, so besides that, we do facials.
Mhm.
Enzo is one of our um, our facial companies. During radiation and treatment, your skin gets dried out oftentimes. You become dehydrated. It actually, it's a lot of discomfort. When you're going through those treatments. So the right understanding of the skin, how to using the right products on your skin, helps in that way with the healing as well. It's also a relaxing feeling. So we have Enzo, Sophia is her name. So she does like hydrofacials. So she does deep cleaning and hydrates the skin where it's needed. So brings the skin back to life. The other person is this is all wellness right now. So the other person is Erin Kampf, acupuncture and herb. She actually specializes endocrine and hormonal balances. So she's an acupuncturist. She talks about everything with health. This practice that she's been doing is centuries old. This is like over 1,000 years of acupuncture. If anybody knows what that is, have you ever done that?
I haven't. My dad used to do it though.
I think internally it's just a holistic way of healing. I've done it in my own healing, and it's remarkable actually how the body and how everything connects, from your liver, from your emotions are connected to your major organs. I learned that during acupuncture. So
Absolutely. That I've learned through my own healing journey. So now you have me interested in acupuncture and how that applies. So thank you for
oh,
sharing that.
yeah, you're welcome. I'm definitely, people think, oh, you're just getting poked. If you want, the people that don't want to read into it, but it's definitely healed me in a lot of ways. I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, and I was completely dependent on medication. When I started doing acupuncture, it got to a point where my doctor said, hey, whatever you're doing, continue doing it because your numbers are going back to normal.
Wow.
So no, I
Wow.
didn't even tell them. So because I just needed something. I just wanted to do something. Just to give you a little light of why I
Yeah,
believe.
that's good to know.
So if I believed in it, if it worked for me, why wouldn't I want to give this to our warriors? Right. So that's
Right.
how that came about. So those are some of the things that I could describe. The other ones is the way self-image, it goes back to self-image. Well, how you see yourself plays a big role on how you heal. If you don't look good or feel good, if you don't look good, and you don't really feel good as it is, it only goes downhill from there. So
Right.
I thought the most important part is to kind of highlight, you and I would know this, right? When we get a new outfit, when we get a new haircut, when we get our nails done, we just feel good after that. You couldn't tell me anything when
Right.
I get my, like, look
Right.
at my nails. I know you're not looking, but you're gonna look at it anyway. It's just like
Right.
I just got it done. My cuticles are gone. I love it. You just feel good.
Mhm.
You don't have to show it off, but you just automatically, it puts this like confidence, and you just want to be outside a little bit longer. So that's kind of like the feel good method,
Right.
right? So it
Yeah.
was important for me to bring in people that does that. So I'm a professional makeup artist. Her name is Felicia Graham. She's a celebrity makeup artist. She does movies, name it, models, and that's what she does. She transforms the face to make you look a way that you never saw yourself looking. And someone that doesn't have hair and lashes,
Mhm.
you forget how you look. You're just
Right.
reminded how sick you look. And when people lose, and the studies that I found, that once the hair, especially the eyebrows, are gone,
Mhm.
that person decrease in feeling good. They feel more depressed. Um,
Mm.
and they don't want to be around anyone. Their self-esteem has definitely plummeted. There's so many negative effects when someone looks themselves in the mirror and they can't recognize themselves anymore.
Right.
So there's a
Yeah.
lot of mental, psychological effects behind it. So if for a temporary solution, I bring on these professionals. I bring on the makeup artist, Felicia Graham, this company called Mohair Foundation. She supplies all the professional wigs. These wigs are high-end human hair, because her mom went through cancer and she needed a really nice wig, but they were all They didn't look nice. So she created this foundation called Mohair Foundation, where she gets to supply it to the ones that need it, like our warriors.
Mm.
So she
I
gets
love
to
that.
style it. She gets to even ask our style, our warriors, hey, what are we looking for today? Are we looking for curly? Are we looking for straight? Do you want it? How are we looking? Let me see. Let me know what your alter ego looks like. We'll make that happen.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. Blank canvas.
Yes, absolutely. We will put you on the way you want to feel. Let me know how you want to feel. So of course I collaborate. She's also a nonprofit. She does this for cancer or even people with alopecia. Anyone that needs hair, she will provide hair for them. So of course I
That's
needed to
really
collaborate
nice.
with her and her team. And then we have wardrobe. Wardrobe. I have a celebrity wardrobe style. I actually know Shalik. We actually have a history together. I actually went to high school with him, but I've known him
Okay.
for that many years. He knows my family, so that's the reason why I'm like. But I've seen him grow as a professional, and I was like, well, let me see what you got. And that's kind of like how it started. I was like, oh man, you really know what you're doing. Okay, well, I thought you were like, I wasn't trying to just hook you up because you were my friend. Oh, you really know your stuff.
Too funny.
so,
And so they're getting a gift with that. And then what else are the Warriors experiencing?
so they get to do, so besides that, we do facials.
Mhm.
Enzo is one of our facial companies. During radiation and treatment, your skin gets dried out oftentimes. You become dehydrated. It actually, it's a lot of discomfort. When you're going through those treatments. So, the right understanding of the skin, how to using the right products on your skin, um, helps in that way with the healing as well. It's also a relaxing feeling. So we have Enzo. Sophia is her name. So she does like hydrofacials. So she does deep cleaning and hydrates the skin where it's needed. So brings the skin back to
Mhm.
life. The other person is this is all wellness right now. So the other person is Erin Kampf, acupuncture and herb. She actually specializes endocrine and hormonal balances. So she's an acupuncturist. She talks about everything with health. This practice that she's been doing is centuries old. This is like over 1,000 years of acupuncture. If anybody knows what that is, have you ever done that?
I haven't. My dad used to do it though.
Mm. I think internally it's just a holistic way of healing. I've done it in my own healing, and it's remarkable actually how the body and
Mhm.
how everything connects, from your liver, from your emotions are connected to your major organs. I learned that during acupuncture. So
Absolutely. That I've learned through my own healing journey. So now you have me interested in acupuncture and how that applies. So thank you for
oh,
sharing that.
yeah, you're welcome. I'm definitely, people think, oh, you're just getting poked. If you want, the people that don't want to read into it, but it's definitely healed me in a lot of ways. I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, and I was completely dependent on medication. When I started doing acupuncture, it got to a point where my doctor said, hey, whatever you're doing, continue doing it because your numbers are going back to normal.
Wow.
So no, I
Wow.
didn't even tell them. So because I just needed something. I just wanted to do something. Just to give you a little light of why I
Yeah,
believed.
that's good to know.
So if I believed in it, if it worked for me, why wouldn't I want to give this to our warriors? Right. So that's
Right.
how that came about. So those are some of the things that I could describe. The other ones is the way self-image, it goes back to self-image. Well, how you see yourself plays a big role on how you heal. If you don't look good or feel good, if you don't look good, and you don't really feel good as it is, it only goes downhill from there. So
Right.
I thought the most important part is to kind of highlight, you and I would know this, right? When we get a new outfit, when we get a new haircut, when we get our nails done, we just feel good after that. You couldn't tell me anything when
Right.
I get my, like, look
Right.
at my nails. I know you're not looking, but you're gonna look at it anyway. It's just like
Right.
I just got it done. My cuticles are gone. I love it. You just feel good.
Mhm.
You don't have to show it off, but you just automatically, it puts this like confidence, and you just want to be outside a little bit longer. So that's kind of like the feel good method,
Right.
right? So it
Yeah.
was important for me to bring in people that does that. So I'm a professional makeup artist. Her name is Felicia Graham. She's a celebrity makeup artist. She does movies, name it, models, and that's what she does. She transforms the face to make you look a way that you never saw yourself looking. And someone that doesn't have hair and lashes,
Mhm.
you forget how you look. You're just
Right.
reminded how sick you look. And when people lose, and the studies that I found, that once the hair, especially the eyebrows, are gone,
Mhm.
that person decrease in feeling good. They feel more depressed. Um,
Mm.
and they don't want to be around anyone. Their self-esteem has definitely plummeted. There's so many negative effects when someone looks themselves in the mirror and they can't recognize themselves anymore.
Right.
So there's a
Yeah.
lot of mental, psychological effects behind it. So if for a temporary solution, I bring on these professionals. I bring on the makeup artist, Felicia Graham, this company called Mohair Foundation. She supplies all the professional wigs. These wigs are high-end human hair, because her mom went through cancer and she needed a really nice wig, but they didn't look nice. So she created this foundation called Mohair Foundation, where she gets to supply it to the ones that need it, like our warriors.
Mm.
So she
I
gets
love
to
that.
style it. She gets to even ask our warriors, "Hey, what are we looking for today? Are we looking for curly? Are we looking for straight? Do you want it? How are we looking? Let me see. Let me know what your alter ego looks like. We'll make that happen."
Yeah, I love that. Yes. Blank canvas.
Yes, absolutely. We will put you on the way you want to feel. Let me know how you want to feel. So of course I collaborate. She's also a nonprofit. She does this for cancer or even people with alopecia. Anyone that needs hair, she will provide hair for them. So of course I
That's
needed to
really
collaborate
nice.
with her and her team. And then we have wardrobe. Wardrobe. I have a celebrity wardrobe stylist. Um, Her name is Keela B. She's known in the industry. She's known in big movies, blockbuster movies, styling stars left and right, And some of her celebrity artists are like Little Kim, Megan Good. Those are people that she works with. The list goes on. And her method is very simple as well. She wants people to feel good. She wants people when they walk into that store that they can feel that confidence. Let me bring out that confidence in you. A lot of people walk in that store and say, I think I'm going to wear that dress because I don't feel right wearing those other dresses. She'll convince you.
Right.
She'll like, well, why do you think you can't pull that off? And she'll give you a reason. Next thing you know, you're wearing an outfit that you never even would think of.
I love it. I love
She
it.
was like,
That's
that's how
some
it
good
works. Oh, you want to
fun.
show those legs? Those legs don't need to be hidden. Like she'll say things, right? And why not?
Oh,
You
that's
need that.
awesome.
You get reminded. These are the people that know how to work with people, right? That want people to
Yes.
feel good. And those are the people that we concentrated on to make sure they knew the concept of why are we doing this in the beginning. You have your own business, you have your own specialty, you're doing this for a reason. And each one of them, they all have everything in common. They want their individual, either patients or clients, to feel good when they leave. And we all have the same goal.
Right.
So now we're doing it to our
That's beautiful.
warriors. That's it.
So what's coming up and how can people get involved?
Well, you can definitely follow us on Instagram at Glamming the Warrior. You get to see more of the updated posts, and you also can look at our profile where you can see a little bit more about us, where you can go to our website. Our website is just we have some stuff going on there, but it's a little dated, but you guys can still get the gist of what we've done in the past because it's getting actually updated. But but Instagram, you have an option to see more of the most current events happening. Whether you want to volunteer, you can see that on our profile. If you want to donate, that's also on our profile link. There's so many other, even our upcoming events will be held there as well. So just follow us there. we like to post like all the people that are supporting us, companies that are supporting us. We're getting ready for our first fundraiser from one of our service providers, which is Secure Boutique, which is Keely B Styles. It's the one I mentioned to you about the clothing. She's doing a street fashion show where we actually lock down the whole street, 2 block radius, where the street itself is the runway.
Oh, when is that?
June 22nd. That's a Saturday.
Oh,
So if you can make it, definitely come down. You'll see vendors
that's the
there.
one I said I forgot. I couldn't make it to. I just got bummed. I was like, oh, that's exciting. And I have a poetry event that same day. But go
Yeah,
ahead, tell me all about it.
I
I
know,
can't
but
make it to.
but then don't worry. There's other events that particular event is just gonna be because this is our first time we're including like a little section for the kids where they can actually a moment so the family, the dog could come out like it's outside. So the adults get to
Right.
see all the clothes and the models, and we're actually some of our honorees are participating to showcase or to be a model for the runway. So I'm happy to include them in this moment so they get to see what we do. I'm big on bringing a socialite to our honorees or our warriors, just because outside of what they see, there are other people that they're around. We want them to be a part of what we do, something they probably would never thought to be a part of. So we
That's
include them.
awesome.
We include them. But you mentioned that you couldn't come to this event, but our meet and greet is happening July 14th. This is our official launch to start our brand new campaign for this year, for 2024. This is our first time that people get to meet the service providers. There are 15 of them this year, and you get to talk to them individually if you like. But I kind of let that be an opportunity for me to revisit who they are and also what the premise of Glamming the Warrior is all about and how their contribution and their help is needed. And it's important. And then we do our video launch and we're telling everyone that this is when it all begins. So if you know anyone that knows someone that deserves a wellness makeover, this is the time to send a video nomination of them.
And I liked how you talk about the process because you said there's some importance to how someone sends in the video. It shows you guys the heart in it. I forget exactly what you said the other day about the video.
Yeah. Let me tell
component.
you how it goes. So everyone can write a letter. Everyone can do that. Everyone has always asked me, like, can I just send you a letter? I said, no one's going to read that. There's a reason why. We all are attracted to visuals, whether it's a Hallmark video or a commercial or just a video that you see on Instagram. You're automatically gravitated to that, right? It's more meaning and there's more emotion and there's more connection behind that. Now, picture someone that you know or someone that you just happen to pass by and talking about you. And they're just saying, hey, I met Crystal through this friend. I just thought that her spirit was so amazing. She just took me in. Just saying all these great things about you. And you don't even have to know this person completely. But they're just saying that nice thing about you sends a different impact to that warrior that's already struggling, right? So all these videos are compiled and then we give that to them towards the end of the campaign, letting you know someone was thinking about you. And every time you feel like you feel down or you feel like no one cares, I want you to open up that video that I sent you and to be reminded that people are watching. People do care. People did think about you, and maybe that will help you through your day. And that's why we do it.
I love that. That's beautiful. So, okay, so video submissions are open as of when?
July 14th during our meet and greet.
Meet and greet July 14th. And then the next Glamming the Warrior is next February?
Yes, to actually meet in public will be in January. Well, yes, February, because everything else will be for the Warriors. February will be the next public event, unless there's another fundraiser that is being held outside of that.
Right. But the black tie event's in February.
Yes, the big
Okay.
gala happens on February, but before February, we do flag raising on top of City Hall that Thursday, and then Friday we do a
Mhm.
complete black tie event for our sorry, couldn't get that out, our honorees, and they could be a VIP or not, but they are all invited to bring their plus one to join us to help celebrate them, and that is when we do the whole reveal of their photo shoot and the video of the whole process of what we did for them during that year.
That's beautiful. And you said there has been some seriously meaningful moments happening in that room over the past couple of years. Is there any one that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, my first my first male honoree, his name was Daniel, and uh he was such an amazing spirit. He was so kind. He was soft spoken. He only talked about positivity. Every time I talked to him, he just had just the nicest thing to say. Even though I'm getting the word of what's happening with his health. So I'm I don't bring up your health unless you don't bring up your health. I don't bring up it at all. I let you say it if you
Right.
want to talk about it. I
Right.
give you the leisure to say that. If you don't talk about it, then I'm not going to talk about it. I'm sure you're talking about it to enough people. So when you speak to
Mm.
me, I want to know how you're doing and how you're doing. What are we doing next? And just to kind of have that looking for what makes us happy, right? So whenever
Right.
I spoke to him, he would actually change the story. He would always change the questions around. I would ask him, "How you doing, Daniel?" He was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, Rochelle. Enough about me. Are you eating right? Did you get enough sleep? I know you're taking care of all the honorees, but are you taking care of yourself?" That was my conversation with him all the time.
I love
In
it.
the, but in the meantime, I'm holding up back tears because I know he has 3 tumors in his brain.
Mm.
If you don't want to talk about it, I can't tell you what I know already, right? Because I know about
Right.
this. I know who's telling me these conversations. So I don't talk about what I know. I just talk about what he wants to talk about. So it's just nice to know no matter what challenges he faced, he left behind some kids, his wife, and he
Mm.
doesn't talk about the hardship, the letting go. He's very spiritual, very religious, and he leaned on that a lot, and I could see
Mm.
why it's important, right? um
I love that. What was his
and
name?
Daniel.
Daniel, and he passed away.
Yeah, so he 5 days before my gala, the gala just passed February, he wanted to come to the gala. Then he got COVID, so he got stuck at the
Mm.
hospital. um So his wife was like, I said, well, if you can't come, well, why won't you come join us? And the wife always like, oh, Daniel loved you guys so much. He just felt like he got the chance to experience these things that he couldn't have done on his own. And she just basically told us on a caregiver, not just wife point of view, and what it did to him. And I appreciated that,
Wow.
because there's things that he got to share with her that he never shared with us, which I understand, right?
Right.
And I got to invite her. I was like, hey, just come. If you want to come, just come. And unfortunately, 5 days before the gal, that Monday is when I got the call that he ended up passing away.
Well, it seems
So
like he had a meaningful impact on you, which is always beautiful to know. Like, that's the one thing we can hope for in this life, right? Is that we leave behind some sort of positivity.
absolutely, it's like he was a prime example of he was it's hard to say. If you're not living that shoe, it's kind of hard. A lot of things to say. You just kind of look at the resilience, oftentimes, and the courage. And some people doesn't have the same reaction. Some people are very bitter for every right. Some people
Right.
handle their anger wrong, differently, or not wrong, but their emotions could lead to anger. Oftentimes, it's the why me moment. I understand that, so I don't know that to be in those shoes, right? But to see a person like him taking on that challenge, right? It makes you feel like, wow. Talk about true warrior, he definitely signified and defined that to the utmost. He
It gives
showed
you
that.
hope. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did a tribute for him at the gala. He's actually the second honoree that I had to do a tribute for.
Mm.
It's something that I dread doing, but I have to bring this up because it's it's their reality. It's
Right.
a lot of people's reality, but for them, it's more real. So I bring it up to tell people kindness is for free. Our talent is not for us to keep. And
Mm.
if we could have the opportunity to make it last for them in a positive way, do it. That's
I
really all.
love it. Well, you are doing beautiful and meaningful work. And we talked so much about Glamming the Warrior that we didn't get a chance to talk too much about you. So I want to give you a minute to kind of plug yourself, your businesses, everything else that you are and do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. So I started off with Glamming the Warrior. So that, I mean, the lash gallery. So my business is I do high end eyelash extensions. It's called the Lash Gallery. You can find us on Instagram. The Lash Gallery is basically first started off with lash extensions. Now we do lash lift, brow lamination, brow tint, lash tint, facials, body wax, the whole 9 yards at this point. Well, not yet, most of that. I have a
Mhm.
staff, a professional team that makes you feel good and makes you feel great before you leave us. And then I started a company called the Refinement Gallery, which is another section where I focus on teaching and giving our clients the tools they need to create the perfect brow. So it's a product that I invented myself, and it's an opportunity to give professionals and enthusiasts an opportunity to create brows. As I mentioned in the past, the brows are actually the main reason people feel more depressed once their eyebrows
Mm.
shed, once they get
Right.
diagnosed. So my focal point is to create a tool for them to create on their own. I'm creating the online class now that they could do on their in their privacy of their own home, and we actually also provide a class session as well if you want to do more of an in-person situation. We started off doing that, but so many people are interested in more how they could give this to a friend or someone that is going through it that can't come to see us. So that's why I started creating my online class.
You are a Jane of many trades. I love that.
I know.
So
A lot.
did we
It's a
get
lot.
that all out? I didn't know if there's more to the. Is there more to the what else
No,
does Rochelle
those
do
are my
list?
main focus. Those are my main focus. Besides
Okay.
different products that I have on my own, the lip gallery is another product that I have as well for my company. It's a mineral lip stains, natural SPF. These are all developed for my cancer patients.
Oh,
These are a natural SPF. It's paraffin free, cruelty free, vitamin K, E, name it. It has all these properties. This lip stain is about 20. It's up to a 24-hour wear. You could drink with it, eat with it, and it just looks like you have a natural lip stain. Why I have that is a lot of our cancer patients who are going through chemo and radiation, they are lose a lot of color. When you
mm,
add a little bit of natural color to them, it just makes them less, they don't look like they're sick. And again, back to the self
absolutely.
the way they want to see themselves without looking
For
too
sure.
glam,
For
right? You want all natural look. So that's what my lip gallery does. That's it, and that's it. That's all I have. I promise.
sure.
For now.
um, so all the things that you are, I got to ask you the important question I ask all my podcast guests. So
Uh,
all the things that you do and all the things that you are, when do you feel like you're the coolest person in the world?
uh, the only time I feel that way is when I can honestly see the genuine smile of everyone that I touch.
Mm, I can appreciate that. Well, you've definitely touched my life, so thank you.
Oh, I appreciate this, Crystal. Thank you for so much for getting to know me, getting to know what we do, how we do the work. It's really appreciated for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to be on. And please, you guys listening, be sure to check out the show description, get all the links, check out Glamming the Warrior, follow Rochelle on social media and everything that she's doing. And of course, be sure to visit lovinglifeboutique.com and use code KJB20 at checkout for 20% off your order from Loving Life Boutique. Be sure to like, comment, and share this podcast. Tell a friend. And if you know anybody going through cancer treatment, please look into the details also in the show description of how to nominate someone to be a warrior in the 2025 Glamming the Warrior. Thanks again, Rochelle, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you again.
You've been listening to the Coolest People in the World podcast with Crystal J. Bailey. Visit us online today at thecoolestpeoplepodcast.com.